Healing through counseling, a true story of redemption and love. Miriam and Daniel's love story began like a fairy tale. They met during a church youth conference in Lagos, Nigeria, and quickly discovered they shared similar dreams and values. Their courtship was filled with joy, laughter, and the deep hope of building a life together. After a year of dating, they got married in a beautiful ceremony surrounded by family and friends. The future seemed bright, and they were confident in their love for each other. But like many young couples, they had no idea of the challenges that awaited them. In the first year of their marriage, everything seemed perfect. Miriam worked as a teacher, while Daniel had a stable job in IT. They shared household responsibilities, supported each other's careers, and dreamed about starting a family. But as the years went by, financial struggles began to creep in. Daniel lost his job due to downsizing, and Miriam's income was barely enough to cover their expenses. The stress began to weigh heavily on them, and Daniel, who had always been mild-tempered, became increasingly irritable. What started as small arguments over money and responsibilities soon escalated. Daniel began yelling during disagreements, and over time, the frustration led to physical altercations. One evening, during a particularly heated argument, he pushed Miriam in anger. Shocked and hurt, she didn't know how to respond. Daniel's outbursts became more frequent. Each time, he would apologize profusely, promising it would never happen again. Miriam, believing in their love and hoping things would improve, forgave him repeatedly. She confided in no one, ashamed and afraid of judgment from family and friends. But the cycle continued. Miriam became withdrawn, living in fear of triggering another episode. Meanwhile, Daniel felt trapped in his own guilt and frustration. He hated what he was doing but didn't know how to stop. One night, after another violent episode, Miriam decided she could no longer endure the abuse. She packed a small bag and went to her elder sister's house. When her family saw her bruises, they were horrified and insisted she stay with them. Daniel, realizing Miriam had left, was overcome with regret and despair. He called her repeatedly, begging her to return, but she refused. Miriam told him she couldn't come back unless he sought help for his anger and behavior. Desperate to save his marriage, Daniel agreed to go for counseling. Miriam also decided to attend the sessions, hoping to understand what had gone wrong and whether their marriage could be salvaged. In their first session, Daniel broke down, admitting his failures and expressing his desire to change. The counselor helped him identify the root of his anger, which stemmed from unresolved childhood trauma and the overwhelming pressure he felt as the family's primary breadwinner. Miriam, too, opened up about her pain, fear, and the toll the violence had taken on her. Through counseling, she realized that she had been enabling the cycle by not addressing the problem earlier or seeking help. Counseling wasn't easy. Both Miriam and Daniel had to confront uncomfortable truths about themselves and their relationship. They learned about healthy communication, conflict resolution, and the importance of setting boundaries. Daniel was taught strategies to manage his anger, such as stepping away during heated moments and practicing mindfulness. He also joined a support group for men dealing with similar issues, where he found encouragement and accountability. Miriam learned to rebuild her self-esteem and understand her worth. She also learned how to assert herself in their relationship without fear. After months of counseling, Miriam decided to move back home with Daniel. It was a gradual process, and she made it clear that any recurrence of violence would mean the end of their marriage. Daniel, now equipped with tools to manage his emotions, worked hard to prove he had changed. They began spending more quality time together, rekindling the love that had brought them together in the first place. They prayed together, sought advice from mentors, and leaned on their faith to guide them through their journey of healing. Today, Miriam and Daniel's marriage is stronger than ever. While they still face challenges, they now approach them as a team, armed with the lessons they learned in counseling. Their story has inspired others in their community to seek help for domestic violence and relationship issues. Miriam and Daniel often speak at church events, sharing their experience and emphasizing the importance of counseling and communication. Through their perseverance and commitment to change, they turned a broken marriage into a testament of hope, love, and redemption. Miriam and Daniel's decision to be open about their struggles was not easy. At first, there was fear of judgment from others, especially in a culture where domestic issues are often kept private. But they felt a strong calling to help others who might be going through similar situations. At a community seminar on marriage and family, Daniel stood up to share his side of the story. He described how unchecked anger and pressure to be a man had led him down a dark path, but also how seeking help had transformed him. His honesty moved many in the audience, particularly men who struggled with similar issues but had never sought support. Miriam followed with her perspective, speaking about the strength it took to live, the power of forgiveness, and the importance of setting boundaries. She encouraged women to prioritize their safety and well-being while also advocating for constructive solutions like counseling. Their story inspired other couples in their church and community to seek help for their own struggles. Some who had quietly endured years of abuse or dysfunction began attending counseling sessions, realizing that healing was possible. Miriam and Daniel also began working with local organizations to raise awareness about domestic violence. They helped organize workshops for couples, focusing on topics like effective communication, emotional intelligence, and stress management. One of their proudest moments was partnering with a group to establish a free counseling center in their community. They lobbied for support, shared their testimonies, and secured funding from local leaders and philanthropists. The center has since helped numerous families navigate difficult situations, fostering healthier relationships. Reflecting on their journey, Miriam and Daniel often emphasized the following lessons. Seek help early. Problems in a marriage don't solve themselves. Seeking counseling or guidance early can prevent further damage. Break the stigma. Seeking help for anger, abuse, or relationship struggles is not a sign of weakness, it's a courageous step toward healing. Boundaries are key. Forgiveness doesn't mean tolerating abuse. Setting boundaries protects both partners and can pave the way for genuine change. Healing takes time. Rebuilding trust and love after brokenness is a gradual process that requires commitment from both partners. A legacy of love and change. Years later, Miriam and Daniel continue to share their story. Their marriage, once marked by pain and violence, is now a beacon of hope for others. They celebrate anniversaries with gratitude, knowing how close they came to losing everything. Their home is now a place of peace and joy, filled with laughter and the sound of their children playing. They have dedicated their lives to helping others overcome challenges in their relationships, ensuring that their struggles were not in vain. Miriam and Daniel's story reminds us all that even in the darkest moments, love can survive, and broken things can be made whole again, if we are willing to seek help, make changes, and never lose hope. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, share, and comment. Thanks.